We've got a kind of pretty full day ahead, and what I've tried to do, this is kind of my program for the day, to try and kind of work through almost like it's like a journey through osteoarthritis. 4 different sections to try and kind of separate different things. The first section, I think, is quite an important section where we kind of just chuck ideas about to look at what's changing in arthritis and how it may change our thoughts about management. Because the key thing in arthritis management is to challenge some of the paradigms that we've been working with up till now and really get past this idea that, I mean, there's some things that are really annoying when you see arthritis management and you kind of ask yourself why it's managed so poorly. And that's not just in dogs, that's in humans as well. Because there are certain aspects of this disease that we, as veterinary surgeons, as clinicians, don't like dealing with. It's not our favourite disease. And in many ways, because of that, it suffers. It is a disease of suffering, but it suffers from a bit of neglect. And it gets packaged into these little things where osteoarthritis is treated by the osteoarthritis treatment. And I want to kind of challenge that whole notion and show how by picking the disease apart, we can become a bit more logical about our treatments. The other thing is that, again, most people come to a lecture like this, and osteoarthritis is something we've all dealt with loads and loads of times, and we've got ideas, fixed ideas. And the one thing I'd like you to do is just open your mind a little bit and kind of try and think outside the box, and hopefully you'll learn some things from what I show you and from me, and hopefully I'll learn some things from you as well, because this is a disease where there's a lot of science and there's a lot of art, and the two things merge together to get the best result, and it's trying to get that balance. I'm quite passionate about this disease. I think that it's always kind of puzzled me why the medical professions and the veterinary profession don't grasp the need to pay more attention to a disease like this. But we'll kind of explore that, and we maybe have some discussion and thoughts about maybe why that is. So I think that in the first instance, kind of trying to understand how the disease works and how our understanding is perhaps changing is key to me, to then putting the various management options in perspective. And one of the bad things about osteoarthritis is the neglect. One of the good things is there are so many different choices, and there are lots of right things to do and perhaps lots of wrong things to do. But there's not a prescriptive recipe. And again, one of the frustrations with osteoarthritis management is this idea of problem, cure, disease, silver bullet, which really doesn't work for osteoarthritis. And in fact, that whole attitude, I think, has actually held back arthritis management quite substantially as we try and search for the one thing that will turn this around. And again, hopefully we can explore why that is just a piece of nonsense anyway. Moving on from that, we'll kind of take a journey through the current management options, kind of try and be critical about them, medical and non-medical, and then move into some of the newer things that are appearing on the horizon that might change our perspectives or our possibilities for treatment, and then finish off looking at some of the practical, real aspects of trying to make all this work. It's all very well having lots of ideas, but one of the problems with arthritis is it's kind of one of these things, it's like the famous Monty Python thing, like the dinosaur Miss Anne Elk says a dinosaur is thin at one end, big in the middle and thin at the other end. And kind of osteoarthritis is a bit like that. We kind of go in with the idea that it's a disease that we need to treat, and then there's a lot of complexity, and we've got to come out at the other end with something that's small enough for us to deal with and put into practice. And kind of that's a collective, because everyone will have different ways of being able to do that. The important thing is to try and get something that's distilled into something powerful enough and practical enough for you to use easily in your practices.